Hey everyone, and welcome back to Transport Fever 2. It's been a little while since I've played or at least streamed um, Transport Fever 2, so I just figured I'd jump back into it and give it another go. Not that I haven't in the past. So I've created a new map. As you can see here, it's a drier temperature map. It's set in sort of canyony area with a couple of rivers going through and merging at one point. So yeah, this I don't know whether it will become much more than just this stream. We'll have to wait and see. Um, you know, hopefully it may well do, but who knows? It may also completely bankrupt me. It depends what decisions I make within this game and whether we can build up our money empire by making sound business decisions. So first thing I like to look through on starting a new map, and I mean you can do what you like in the game ultimately, but this is what my particular sort of advice would be, is to look for the simpler chains to create. So what I mean by that, bricks are a good example. It's simply stone into bricks, and then you can transport that to the city. It's a 1-to-1 conversion rate, which means that one stone in equals one brick out. If you look at something like petrols, plastics, a bad example. Planks, for example, here you got 2 logs into 1 plank, so I'd advise to stay away from that to begin with. Another strong one is fuel is a very good train line to do, just because the train carts that you put on the train can be filled with not only crude oil that the oil wells produce, also fuel, which the fuel refinery produces, and oil, which an oil refinery produces. As you can see, oil is a 2-to-1 conversion rate, so I'm going to avoid going for that to begin with, but I may well. I'm looking at this particular line here. It's quite appealing to me because you can probably see that there's a pretty good route there which will be filled a lot of the time. The next thing I'm going to look at is I'm going to sort my cities in this town statistics panel, which is just down here on the bottom right, and look for the larger cities. So in this map, we've got Birmingham, which is our largest city. We've got Joliet, which is, or Joliet. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation. I'm going to go with Joliet. I think it's French. I don't know though. It's probably not. Who knows? So those two are the largest cities. We've also got Lexington, which is also above 200 population currently. So another little tidbit is that the larger cities will demand more, meaning that when you have a productive line going backwards and forwards, it will ultimately make you more money, because if you started out with, say, Atlanta over here, which only wants 28 goods and 28 machines, now you really are going to struggle to start off with goods or machines, because goods is one of the harder ones to make in the game. So is machines, pretty difficult, because it's got quite a complex chain of for production. But they only want less than 30, Whereas if you look at Birmingham over here, we have 76 bricks and 75 tools. That's only going to grow, and it means that hopefully we'll start to max out our production of a construction plant. Over here we've got a quarry over here, a construction materials plant over here, and a city that wants those goods in quite a good little line. It's not the most direct, but it will do for now. We can always put in a road across, maybe even a slight bypass to avoid this other city, Oxnard, over here. There's a bit of a hill, but that's all right. We can always work around it. But yeah, I think I'm going to start by putting in a line for Birmingham over here. And to do that, I'm going to build up a road line. So it'll be nothing too fancy, relatively simple to achieve. So I'm going to just put this over here. I like to do my road lines with a in and an out, a very definite sort of in and out, so to speak. I don't know whether that's going to allow us to build there. No. So I'll just remove that. Move it over slightly. Put in two platforms. One on this side. I built it in this configuration for a very particular reason, which I'll get onto in a second. So I'm going to start out by just building up a road out here. And these are some of the new tools which I have read about on the update. They've been doing some interesting things with tools, and actually it tells you the length, which is really quite nice. It tells you the curve. It's pretty interesting, actually. It's got these useful lines to know, what is straight, what is out over here. It's pretty cool. Snaps to it as well, which is quite nice. But it's not too intrusive. If you wanted to say put it over here, it's not gonna, snap away from anything. But that's quite a nice little addition to the game. I haven't played since those were released, so it's always interesting to see what they do. That's one good thing about Transport Fever I find, is that it's been pretty well supported post-release. The game's not the oldest, but it's also not the newest. I wonder if there's a way for me to shift avoids that. So shift will allow me to. Oh no, it won't. Okay, I'm gonna have to put it further back, I guess. That's fine. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. So cargo to here and exit over here, because they're going to be going back that direction. Alright. I don't have any one-way roads, so I'm just going to have to use a two-way road. That's fine, it doesn't really make much difference. And then all we will need is a delivery point. So if we try maybe putting in a delivery point that would cover both areas quite well. That will make the most of having this route here. So I'll put one here. This covers quite a lot of the area other than these two, but there's always room to grow, excuse me. Right, so I'm going to start building our line. And I'm going to make it red because the bricks are red. So we're going to begin with our stone over here. This line will do both stone and bricks. So we'll have them fill up. We'll have them wait for, say, 30 seconds. Don't want it to wait too long. And they're going to be picking up stone. So start over here. Make your way over here. And you're going to be unloading stone, picking up bricks. We want that to fill up as well. Considering it's a 1-to-1 ratio, it should be fairly efficient that way. And then drop off the bricks down here. So you can see this line reuses quite a lot of the road that's already been built into the map. One improvement could be to have a road come out this way. I think it would be slightly quicker, but to be honest with you, the roads that we build in are not going to be very effective at this early stage because we're only in 1890. And in fact, I'm going to lower that down to quarter speed because I prefer it to give us a bit more time with these changes that the eras make. So I think this is ready now. If I go ahead and just put this as bricks, we need to name this something. I like to have a bit of a naming convention so that I can know what lines do what based on the naming. So to begin with, I think I'll start with the medium that they're on. So for example, this one's on the road. If we had a boat, it would be on water. If we had an airplane, it would be in the air. If it was on a train, it would be on tracks or rail. So I'll just call this one road. It's a cargo line and it is delivering bricks, or we could call them construction materials, but bricks is shorter in the text box here. That's for Birmingham. So that's all set up to go. We have spent 400,000 doing this, which is not too much in the grand scheme. I mean, it's about well, it is actually a fair amount of our loan, 400k, so it's almost 10%. So if we were to build a road depot over here, hopefully we can build it quite close to the stone so that the vehicles can go and fill up quite quickly. I'm going to need some cargo vehicles. I can't use these side stakes because even though they can pick up bricks, they cannot pick up... Oh, they can pick up stone. That's interesting. I didn't think they could. Okay. Considering they're quite slow, they can't carry that much, and it's early on in the game. I'm tempted to put on quite a few to try and get more money out of this line. So 30 vehicles would be about almost 1 million. So if we go with that, let's just color these red so it matches the line. It's even painted the horse. That's real committal to the line. Has it actually painted the horse, or is it? No, I didn't think it had, but it does look like it has in the image. Or is that just the... it looks like it's put the horse as red. It might just be the outline of this. But yeah, we've started getting our line to go through the motions of picking up the stone and what have you. These only carry 5, so I'm imagining this will fill up quite quick. And then they'll make their way over to pick up some bricks and what have you. So that's underway. I'm going to pause it quick because I don't want our loan interest to start costing us money here. I'm quite tempted to build up another line for the fuel refinery. It would be really good to have a train line, but I don't think that we'll be able to afford it. And to be honest with you, it's quite early days yet. So going with a train line this early on would be a bit overkill. We could potentially borrow more money to make a train line, but if I'm honest, I don't think it's worth it. Truth be told, I think we're going to just go with another road line here. Hopefully, it'll be quite efficient because we'll be basically picking up crude oil from down here, dropping it off and picking up oil, and then dropping off that oil and picking up fuel, and then dropping off the fuel over here, going up to the other oil well, picking up more crude oil, making our way back down, and dropping off crude oil down here, and then repeating the line. So this one line will be filled up, I would estimate, about 90% of the time, because they're only going to be empty going from Jolet to the Jolet oil well number 3. It's a very catchy name. And between the Newark oil refinery to the Newark oil well down here. So if we were to build up this line, it would make quite a lot of money quite quickly because we'll be delivering quite a lot of different products throughout its distance that it goes. So I think we'll go with that. It's a sound second investment to try and make some money here. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. Only time will really tell whether we'll be able to make money here, but I am confident that this will be one of the best ways to do it. So I'm going to put in my cargo stops here. I'll put in another one over here. Try and find somewhere that's quite cheap to build it. I mean, I could build it like this, but I'd rather build it in line with the road to try and avoid the vehicles having to... we can't build quite that close. Let's try there. Yep, perfect. So, to try and avoid the vehicles having to make too much of a detour around these things, and it means that we've got a definite in and an out, which means that hopefully the vehicles won't get in the way of each other too much, because they could do. So just build it up like this. Doesn't necessarily have to be too pretty to begin with. We'll need another one down here to try and save a little bit of money. I think I'll literally just have a one platform cargo stop down here. I'll prepare it for if we wanted to expand it going forward. But for now, I think we'll just do something like this. That should be plenty. And it is in line with the road, so if we wanted to build a exit to go out that way, we can. And let's just build one over here as well. So, just in the interest of trying to save a bit of money, I'm not going to build it too big to begin with, unlike I did with the other ones, which you never know, might be a mistake. We hope it won't be, but who knows. So if we put in our delivery spot, if we put one here, it covers quite a lot of the city actually, and it covers quite a lot of the goods that need to be delivered as well, which is quite good, no pun intended. So that's all set up. We just need to put in the line now. So if we start down here, start with a line there, come up here. We're going to use both sides. We want them to definitely be full when they leave the crude oil well down here. So I'll put that on. And then over here, they're going to be dropping off crude oil, picking up oil, and then they're going to continue over to the fuel refinery. They will be dropping off oil, picking up fuel, then making their way into Joliet. I don't know. It's something like that. And they're just going to pick up or drop off the fuel there. We definitely want them to fill up down here. I'll reduce it to a minute, just to make sure that they do pick up. I'll do the same here. Now, I could request that they fill up when they're going through here, but I'm not going to because, as I mentioned earlier, oil is a 2-to-1 conversion rate. I think I did at least. It might have been stone or some planks that we described that on, but it means that when they deliver one set of oil, they're not going to be able to leave with a full, or one set of crude, sorry, they're not going to be able to leave with a full set of crude, so oil, I mean, because you know all these are named very similar things because it's just oil, crude oil. Fuel is fuel. Fuel is a 1-to-1 conversion rate, so it means that we are going to be picking up 2 sets of crude oil for every 1 fuel, which is why this line's quite good, because ultimately we're going to be filling up the carts both ways and hopefully making a decent amount of money. So if we put our other road depot in down here somewhere, we want to be able to pick up crude oil, and fuel. So we'll get about 30 of these. I don't think this line's going to be orange. Orange could be for fuel, actually. Yeah, let's go with that. Cool, so it's cargo via the road. The reason I do this is because it means that, number one, you can see what the line is in the line manager. So down here, quite easily you can tell what it is. But also because when you've got so many, it categorizes them a little bit. So we've got, actually that needs to be the other way around. Road, cargo, fuel. and Joliet. Joliet. There we go. So if we pop these onto that line, then hopefully we can start to make some money. What's that? Bumping up the frequency. So it won't be the fastest of lines because obviously we've got older vehicles. Or at least for this era, they're quite current. We've got about 2 million left of the 5 million loan that we started out with. Now, that's okay. What I would like to do is probably build this up as a train line, because that will be, I have a hunch that this will be our most profitable line, especially early on, if forever. Joliet has quite a lot of demand, and when it grows, it'll go up. So we'll have to wait and see how that does. But for now, what I might do is repay some of our loan so that then we are making more money out of the money that we make, and we're not paying off loan interest. We've already started on the small amount of time that we've been playing, and we've repaid about, well, it's not repaying the loan, it's literally just paying off the interest. So, I mean, I'm in two minds about it. I might just play for a little bit, but every moment that we play with this amount of loan, the more we're effectively paying off in the long run. I'm just going to pay it off. We're going to start by paying it off, and hopefully this will play through fairly quickly. We hopefully will mean that we don't pay off too much interest on the long term, but we'll have to wait and see. So our first vehicles are taking stone from the Oxnard quarry over here, which is jolly good. What I may do is just copy that, call it Oxnard Quarry Road Cargo Platform. And then over here, again, naming these things so that I recognize them when I need to that doesn't fit. These are also not capitalized, which I might just call it construction materials, because it's not the actual plant, it's the platform. So when we review the line, we can see this one's where it's picking up the stone, because it's the quarry. This one's where it's picking up the construction materials, because it's the construction materials platform. And then this one can be maybe River Street. We could even call it Birmingham Delivery, maybe. we go. River Street, Birmingham. So now when we check that line, hopefully it makes a bit more sense. Yeah, so the Oxnard quarry, we know that the quarry is where it's picking up the stone, and this is the road cargo platform. Maybe we could call these, what are they called in here? Truck unload stop, truck station, truck unload stop. We'll just leave it as River Street, Birmingham, so it just lets us know which city it's in. Over here, we'll name this one Road Cargo Platform. Joliet Oil Well Road Cargo Platform. We'll call this one Walnut Street, Joliet, just so we know where it is. And then we'll name these ones the refinery, fuel refinery that is. This one's the oil refinery. Road Cargo Platform. Down here we've got the Newark Oil Well. Road Cargo Platform. There we go, that's all of them named actually. So looking on that line now, it helps just to know whereabouts these are. So we know this one's the oil well, this one's the refinery, this one's the fuel refinery, this is the Walnut Street in Joliet. And then again, Joliet oil well cargo platform. So hopefully this line's going to start making a decent amount of money. They never do to begin with. It's always a case of the finances sort of grow as time goes on. And I think the biggest amount of money will be when we deliver the oil or the crude oil to the oil refinery down here. Oh, actually, we are not delivering that currently, are we? So we deliver it here, and then it doesn't deliver down here. But that's an easy thing to fix. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pop in a quick one here. So that's after that one. Yep. Here is where we want it to go and deliver its crude oil. So let's just double check that they're picking up the right things. So over here, crude oil, dropping off fuel, picking up crude oil, dropping off crude oil. Perfect. Okay. So now it will deliver. It won't just take it down to here to then bring it back up. So yeah, from here down will be most likely the largest amount of money that we'll make off of this line, or this largest single hit of money, I would say, if I were to guess, because it's the longest distance it's got to go, and I believe that's what makes money in this game. If it isn't, then I've been playing very wrong. But we're going to start delivering our bricks as well. It looks like those are starting to come through, although these are not full, which is a little bit worrying. Does that mean that we have a load of bricks here? It does. Why were they not waiting? They waited for 30 seconds and that wasn't long enough. Okay. Let's bump this up to 60 seconds. And this to 60 seconds. Just to make sure when they deliver the stone, they can also pick up all of the bricks, because there should be a 1-to-1 conversion rate. And actually, now that there's about 50 here, how much space do we have? 60, 40. Yeah, that should be fine. How much total? 150 capacity. So what it could have been is that it just took time for these to produce the bricks, and they didn't quite make it all the way through. It could also have been they left here empty, or maybe partly full, and that could have meant that when they delivered over here they only had 3, something like that. These things can happen sometimes. Well, so these ones are full, that's good. That's going to make plenty of money, which is what we want. There are so many crude oil wells around here. Jeez, look at them all. Might even be worth setting up another line, although we don't have any money. We could probably take out a loan to do that. In fact, we have a fuel here, crude oil refinery, crude oil well. We could potentially do something here. It would most probably have to be I don't know whether we could actually do it here. I guess if we picked up here, dropped off here, picked up here, dropped off here, picked up, dropped off, picked up, dropped off. How big is Mesa? It wants about 44 fuel. I'm going to hit play because ultimately we don't have that much money and it won't make too much difference until we actually start to see some of these ones that are coming back start to deliver their crude oil. So, doesn't really matter. In fact, we need to name this road, don't we? The road stop. View Street. In fact, if we name it, if we put its name there, so to speak, then the road because what did we call the other ones? The ones in Jolie? Just Walnut Street, Jolie. Oh, Here we go. How much money is this going to make? It just went straight through. Oh no. What is it going to? Down here. We don't want it to go down there full. We definitely want it to deliver to the oil refinery. Stop 3. No, we don't want it to stop 3. Not the fuel refinery. Maybe if we turn it around after it's gone past that junction. Stop 6. Right, okay, we're going to have to keep an eye on these. But... Ah, it didn't... Why did it not... Why is it not delivering crude oil? It should be. Picks up, drops off, picks up, drops off. How strange. We might not be able to save it. Is it going to drop off? No. Oh, this one's dropping off. 4? Why did it only drop 1? How much money did that make? $3.26k. Oh, that one's dropped off. Okay, it looks like they're starting to, maybe? I don't know why it's only dropping off some of this. It should be dropping off all of it, but it might just be taking it back round to deliver it here. How strange that it's not dropping it all off. I don't think we can do much about that. That's something we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on, because that will be very costly if it doesn't allow us to drop it all off. It might just be a case of it's the first time it's gone through and it originally thought it was going to be dropping off here, so it's just confused, holding on to it, dropping it off at this point. That being said, I have seen it before where if it has to deliver the same thing at 2 stops, it won't drop it off straight away. It will hold on to it and drop off part of the amount in the next one. So some of them are, some of them are not. And I can't seem to control it, which is annoying, because ultimately I just want them to drop off completely, but never mind. This line's making a lot of money from what little it is dropping off. So that's beneficial for the game. Hopefully we will be making money on both sides. It looks like this might not be making quite as much. Maybe we should think about putting in a line that cuts down the amount of time it has to travel. These might be dropping off completely now. There we go. I mean, that's made a fair amount of money, considering not all of them dropped off all of their crude oil that time through, so you never know. It might just be a case of the way that the game works out where it's going to be picking up its stuff and dropping it off. So you can't control how much you want it to drop off, so you have to trust that it will drop 100% there and not just drop 50%, as it seemed to on the way through. But we'll just have to chalk that one up to it's the first time this line's run through, and it may just be having a bit of difficulty with it. We're delivering a decent amount of oil, so hopefully we're going to be making a lot of money off this line going forward. First of our vehicles is already going back up for its second route through. And I'm quite tempted to try building up a line here as well. Even though Mesa doesn't necessarily want as many as Jolay wanted for fuel, it could potentially be a fairly sound investment. It's not your normal line though, that's the only thing. So it's a lot of going backwards and forwards. So if we pick up, or maybe pick up, drop off, pick up, drop off, pick up, drop off. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of backwards and forwards, and it might actually be a good one for the first train line, because ultimately we could probably do the same station here for picking up and dropping off. Picking up crude oil, dropping off oil, and then maybe just have a line that goes into Mesa, a road line, considering it's quite close. So if we had a train line for oil and crude oil, that might be quite a good little train line there. I'm tempted to give that a try. Of course, train lines do cost quite a bit to invest in. Because you've got to pay for all the stations and also all the track and then all the train itself, which costs a lot of money, especially starting out like this. So if we could get the loan down to say 2.5 mil, that would help, because we'd be paying less on interest each year. Looks like this first set of crude oil, and hopefully delivering all of the crude oil from up here all in one foul swoop on that road line through, is about to deliver. It's just going up a fairly big hill here. Or at least fairly big for a horse-drawn carriage, I should say. I mean, to be fair, that's a fairly steep hill. I wonder whether these new road tools tell you how steep something is. No. They don't give you like a angle or a percentage or something. They tell you the length though, which is quite interesting, quite useful. So if we were to measure from here up to here, it's roughly 3,279 meters. Which isn't too bad for a one of the first lines we've actually built. So, moment of truth. How much is this line going to make this time through? We made... I couldn't quite read that. It's too small for me to catch, but we made hopefully a decent amount. 104k? I can't say that's the first one this year, so if we maybe keep an eye on it when this one goes through. Oh, actually it will tell us here, won't it? If we look at, say, the last 3 years, this thing's been travelling for a year just to deliver this oil, this crude oil. It's pretty crazy. So, how much does it make? 16.3k. Times that by the 30 vehicles that we've got on this line. That's pretty decent. If we want to make more money there, we could try maybe making the route more efficient. For example, not having to go through this corner would be quite beneficial for it. And we could also have a bit of a bypass here, so it cuts off this corner, goes straight through. That might be something for a later stage. Right now, we're just trying to survive. And to be fair, I think we're doing it. It's early stages yet. I mean, this will really help when this makes its full amount of money. Because this line will make a decent amount of money this year. And then it'll probably start to spread out a bit, I would imagine, as time goes on. Hopefully, the amount of vehicles that we've got on there will actually satisfy Jolet, although it's only at 20% plus 20%, which isn't that great. I mean, it wants almost 100 fuel now, which is pretty crazy. None of these are actually supplying because it's been the amount of time it takes this line to go through is more than 1 year, and that's the only amount of time that it takes into account supplies, I think. So I wonder how much it makes. 5.76. 12.2. So it made about about 6,000 delivering that. And then I wonder how much it's going to make delivering up here as well. I think if we were to put in a road from here through, it might allow these vehicles to go a little bit quicker. How much would a tunnel cost here? 300. What about if we just cut away 500? It's actually more expensive. And then what if we didn't tunnel until it was absolutely necessary? I'd like to remove some of these. So 200,000, not too bad for an investment, and it would cut quite a lot of a corner off.